Well, our first ever chicken tractor is complete. It is roughly 8 feet long, approximately 6 feet wide. And as you can see, we left the front half of it open with chicken wire on the top, and we covered the back with tin on the top and the actual back side, and partially on the side to give the chicks an area where they can go and feel secure and not be harassed by the dogs. We just put them in there. They've been in a brooder box their entire lives, so they're still kind of skittish and mostly hanging out in the back in the safe area. Here's a view from the backside showing how we've got tin on the very back and partially on the sides, further up the side on this side, because mostly this will be, we'll try to keep the chicken tractor facing this direction all the time so that the chicks will have the morning sun and be blocked from the evening sun. That's a regular dolly. Some of you may not know what I'm talking about, but if you can Google or search on YouTube a chicken tractor dolly, and there's a specific type of dolly that Joel Salatin made famous, I suppose. And we're going to have one of those built, but for now, we're just using a regular dolly. And then there are ropes on the front end. You'll see. I'll show you that next. I just drilled 2 holes on the front, inserted a rope, tied knots so it won't come back out. And so in order to move the chicken tractor, by the way, which is what we plan to do, we plan to move it 1 tractor length every day to give the chicks access to fresh grass and fresh bugs and fresh ground. And then we'll also be systematically fertilizing the ground with the chickens. And so there's only, I don't know how many are in there, but we may do it every couple of days or 2 or 3 days. But eventually, as they get bigger, then we'll probably move it every day. And all you have to do is lift up on this rope. The person in the back tilts back on the dolly just enough to get it off the ground, and it's pretty easy to move. Now, I'm a typical man. I didn't follow any plans, and I used treated lumber because I want it to last, so it's heavier than it could have been built. But, oh well, it'll last. You can see that the front half is divided into 2 top sections that are hinged in the middle. Yeah, it doesn't fit just right. I promise you, I am not a carpenter. It's almost a miracle that this thing turned out anywhere close to square. But it's functional, and that's all that matters. But you can get into the chicken tractor by lifting either one of the sides as far up as you need to. That's how we can put their feed in there, change their water, reposition it, or whatever. And so, it's a functional design. I may improve on it after maybe I'll find some directions and follow those. That might be a good idea. But we're probably going to replicate this when we start raising meat birds in any kind of numbers. We'll probably make them 12 foot long by 6 feet. And we'll have several of them and put them in the pasture and move them every day to fertilize the pasture and raise the birds exposed to sunshine and fresh grass and bugs and so forth. So anyway, we're pretty pleased for our first effort.